Hello, my name is Jeannie Ossorio. I am a freshman at Clemson University, and as a freshman in Clemson University, you are required to do a pass-fail class called Library 100. And as a part of Library 100, you are required to do a video blog about a new student dialogue. A new student dialogue is like an information session where you attend one on a specific topic. And the one I chose to attend on was the mirrors reflect false reflection. It was supposed to be about a dialogue about body image. The description made me very interested into this dialogue. It said we were going to discuss issues regarding weight and body issues and body image, how it's portrayed in the media and in society, and how it applies to culture and many misconceptions and physical norms about body image. And I was very interested in this because I've been very on the fence about what to believe in body image and kind of getting familiar with my own skin and loving myself for who I am, especially based on like all of the model pictures and things. And I really want to see like what do students my age feel about that? Like, does anybody else have any uncertainties about it or anything like that? I attended my information session on November 27th at 7 p.m. and the time is due November 30th. I attended my session so late because I really wanted to attend the body image dialogue, and all of the slots were filled really quickly. And the one that I originally signed up for was November 4th. That was the next open one, and the only reason I signed up so late is because I really wanted to attend this dialogue. If I had to do a 5-minute video on it, I really wanted it to be on something that I was interested on. But unfortunately, November 4th was election day, and we had a late cancellation of everything on campus. So my new student dialogue got pushed to the 27th, but it's okay with me. No big deal. But when I attended my dialogue, I was very nervous because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what to expect. I have been waiting on it all semester, and I wanted to see like would anybody open up, or like would the topics get a little heated, or was anybody feeling exactly the way I feel, and if they were brave enough to say anything about it. And another thing about when I went in, it was a whole lot of people in there, and I realized there was a lot of students who waited to the last minute to do their dialogues and thought they could, squeeze in on that class, but unfortunately there weren't enough seats. But when we started, it was very quiet, and our facilitators were more so like, okay, you get what you put in out of the dialogue. And I was like, okay, well, okay, Jeannie, you gotta talk. You just gotta talk. You gotta say something. Just kind of open up. So what they first had us do was watch a video of a lady who did a lot of research. And the research she did was on the people who were happy in life, like very happy, and the people who were depressed with their lives. And the thing that she found was interesting is both groups of the people who were happy and the people who weren't so happy with their lives all had something to do with vulnerability. And vulnerability is something that no one really wants to address, and no one really wants to be vulnerable because it's in our society you have to be strong. And what the lady in the video was talking about was that she found it completely out of the ordinary that the people who are happy were vulnerable, and the only reason they could be happy is because they were vulnerable. And I thought that was very profound, because what she pointed out was the difference between the two was how they dealt with their vulnerability. And the people who weren't so happy with it, they more so were reserved about being vulnerable, and And the people who were happy, they embraced their vulnerability. They accepted their vulnerability, their flaws, and everything. And that's what made them happier. That they were able to use that energy, use their fears, use their uncertainties about life to make them happy about life. And throughout the dialogue, we had a few people speak up, and I thought that was very good. Not everybody, unfortunately. Um, we had a lot of people who were very reserved, but there were a few girls who spoke out, and a lot of transfer students were the ones who spoke out, and on how they felt very vulnerable being on Clemson's campus, and how you go from being at a smaller technical school and you have to deal with a big campus. You have to deal with not being able to, well, being in your major classes with freshmen, and just kind of adjusting, especially with the insecurity that you're not as smart as the students who didn't transfer over and just made it into Clemson the first time. And I thought that was very, very brave of them to speak out about that. And I said something, yay, Jeannie. I personally spoke out on the fact that although I'm a planner and I plan out everything, I plan out my days, I've planned out the next 5 years actually. So, and I've been doing that since I was little. I found out that a lot of my peers are very vulnerable because they don't know what's next. Like after high school, everybody knew that they were going to college. But what happens after college? There are decisions after college pretty much determine the rest of your life. And that's a very, very scary thought to have to deal with. But for me, I pretty much planned that out already. So I'm not really scared about what happens after college because I have plans set in motion on what I got to do to get to where I want to be. But my biggest insecurity right now is who I want to be. And with who I want to be is I really don't know who I want the older Jeannie to be. I really don't know who she is. I don't know what I want other people to recognize me as. And that's my biggest vulnerability because I knew who I was in high school, but what happened in high school really doesn't matter. It doesn't, you don't bring that with you to college. And you don't bring that with you to adulthood. That's the past. And who you just find yourself as in college is really who you're going to be. And I honestly felt that being vulnerable but brave enough to speak out, I felt stronger. That my journey to finding myself it's getting better. It's a struggle still. Like trying different things and trying to see what I like, but to be able to just put that on the table and know I'm not the only one going through that. It was very, very profound, and it's a good thing to know that you're not alone in things like this. It's good thing to know that, because when you feel like when you're vulnerable and you have your insecurities, you feel like you're the only one. Like everybody has it together, everybody's life is together, but that's not really the case when you really think about it. But I honestly believe that although this new student dialogue was a bit time consuming and it wasn't based on what I thought we were going to be talking about, but that did disappoint me. But I did learn something, that being vulnerable is pretty good. Like, it's a good thing. Being vulnerable is one way that you can achieve your goals. And I think that's one thing that Clemson wanted you to feel. They wanted the freshmen to know that they wanted to put us in different situations, have us talk to each other, and let us know that we're not alone, and just kind of open our minds to different viewpoints and kind of knowing other people's stories, to know that we're more common, we're more alike than we thought we were. And I thought that was very, very, very good. And that's why I believe that they placed this in Library 100. And although it's a pass-fail class and you don't get credit hours for it, I thought this was very valuable information that all freshmen should learn about. And I do think that they should do it again. But I do I do believe overall I thought that our dialogue was extremely useful, and we did achieve a dialogue. It was enough people to talk, although we had some quiet moments and you had other people who didn't speak. There was no debating. It was more so everybody expressing how they felt. I did want the facilitators to do a little more, like maybe open up a question instead of just saying talk. I really didn't like that much, but when we when the first person spoke up, it was like, okay, it's my turn. So I really enjoyed that about my new student dialogue, and that's all I have to say.